we were talking about all this new technology coming out with the new version of ChatGPT and everything else. One of the features they have is this real-time translation. And like we've kind of seen these apps, right? Like you get it on your phone, you can say something, it'll translate it, then you hold it up for the person and they can hear it. It's now to the point where it's basically just real time. And they were having conversations between Italian and English in real-time translation. And you think about how many jobs get eliminated by this stuff, right? Like, why would a translator be needed? I mean, it's seemingly like gone now, maybe with the exception of like high-level international, discussions between presidents.
People might need to have universal basic income? This is what we talked about. Remember, 10 years ago, I said there's going to come a time, no job. You're going to have universal basic income. My solution to that is own your own information and sell it to these big, huge companies like Google if you want to. That way we all share in, the information that they've just stolen from us. But anyway, I'll go one better. There is now a system out. I've been doing research on security because we're rebuilding our ranch, and I'm putting a skiff in it and everything else. But I've been looking at all of this different security, and one thing that I found just last night, it's amazing, is you could sit in a restaurant and you could target somebody at a table. You could have an earpiece in, and you're talking to your device, and you look at the table, and they're across the room, and you can say, please enhance the female's responses, the voice. And it will turn their voice up. If you still can't hear, remove the sound of all other talking in the room, and it will cancel all of the room talking. Remove the sound of the dishes. Focus only on their conversation. I've seen it in real time.
Wow.
I'll bring the video in tomorrow. I'll show you. It'll do it in real time, and then they're speaking a different language. Translate to English. And you're hearing their voice speaking in English, and that's the only thing in the crowded restaurant you can hear.
Oh, my God.
Unbelievable. Wow.
It's incredible, and it's all in real time.
Is there going to be any need to learn a foreign language anymore? With this,
Probably
you don't
not,
need
no.
to, right?
No.
Yeah. And then, of course,
Wow.
you go down a generation when no one knows the language, and who's going to fact check the AI if
Right.
the
Yeah,
translation's
I know.
correct?
Yeah, nobody
You
is.
remember when I had the conversation 12 years ago with Ray Kurzweil, and I said, Ray, all of this technology makes us weaker. And he said, no, it'll make us stronger because you won't have to worry about keeping all this other stuff in your brain. And I said, really? When GPS goes down, tell my kids to go find their way to the store with a map. You have no skill without that. And he thinks that we're just going to be learning so much more. Yeah, and television is going to be the greatest teacher on earth. What are you talking about?
It's like, it's not really learning, right? I mean, you can be the best, Italian speaker in the world without learning one word of Italian.
Yeah.
And you're right. If this infrastructure were to collapse or degrade in some major way, there's nothing to fall back on. We don't know how to do anything.
It's also, there are things that you can do. In my ranch, I'm really getting serious about security, and I'm putting in. It's not Eric. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like Alexa, but it is not connected to the internet at all, and it can control the house. So you say like, "Hey Eric, I need to speak to everybody on the outdoors," and it will open up a microphone, and you can talk to everybody in the whole house if you want. Eric, call 911. It will do everything, but it's not connected to the internet. I'm looking for things to protect the family. Honestly, I get my robot dog comes in 2 weeks.
Wait, the thing that we talked about on the air a couple weeks ago with the flame throwing robot dog. You've purchased a flame throwing robot dog. Oh, we have the video in case people. You putting gasoline in the.
I don't think I'm going to use a flamethrower.
Well, don't
However, it's in the mountains, and it says it's great to clear snow.
Oh yeah.
So look at this thing, and at night it gives you look at the laser. It has a light on it.
Wow, that's cool.
Cameras. It will sense body heat, so it will identify things. So
well, wait, if you're not going to use the flamethrower, why do you want the robot dog?
Well, I'm not saying that it won't be ready to use the flamethrower.
Okay.
I'm just saying, for one reason, it can go and prowl around. We have mountain lions, one thing, and I'd like it to prowl for the mountain lions. But also, I think that would freak people out.
Yeah.
Freak people out. So, in that...
Wow.
And we're getting a drone called, I think it's one of the ones we're looking at is the Sunflower. And you put devices in the ground up to 4 acres around your house, okay? And it geofences it. And if it senses anything moving on the property, and it can tell the difference between an animal and a human, and if it senses anything moving on your property, it automatically deploys and holds them in place, which I just think technology is so amazing on the things that you can do. I mean, you spend that and you don't have to worry. Like, my family is different. We spend a lot on our security. And, manned security. And the one thing that when we're at the ranch at night, there's animals and everything else. And, we had a mountain lion that was about probably, 15 yards from me going into the studio the other day, a couple of months ago. And it was freaky. And you're out and you don't know. And if you need security, the stuff that we have now, and it's all autonomous. That's what's so weird. My son's begging me, please, Dad, let's not put all this autonomous stuff in there. And I'm like, no, the Chinese are fine. What are you talking about? It's going to be great.
So what does it autonomously do then? It just goes out and patrols? It decides where to go and what to do when it sees something amiss?
Yeah, it patrols and it learns. And it can automatically deploy. Everything will automatically deploy if there's a breach of the property. It deploys. It alerts you, and then tracks whatever is moving. I just have a feeling that if you're coming at night and you're on my property and you're think you're going to steal something or whatever, I don't know. The flamethrowing dog might freak you out, and then the drone above your head.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think what's fascinating about this too is we've all kind of become used to seeing a Boston Dynamics video with a robot jumping, and you're like, wow, imagine when that happens, in the year 2085, that's going to be available. This is coming to your house in 2 weeks, this robot dog?
Yeah, I'm going to do a show on it. When we get it and I go up to the ranch this summer and we have it all deployed, I'm going to do a show on it. The technology that is available today is absolutely... it's futuristic. We're living in that weird world now that we've watched in movies forever.
What are the odds, though, that something can go wrong with it and it uses its flame-throwing ability to burn your house down? Are there precautions? Safety?
Yeah, that's why I'm not going to put gasoline in it.
Yeah.
I don't think I need the flame-throwing part. But what it has, though, is the laser imaging, the spotlight, the ability it speaks to you. Warning, turn around and move back. Security is coming. I don't know. I don't think I'd mess with a robot dog.
No, And it's going to be so unusual that, people will be stunned by it, I'm sure, at first. But just so it doesn't set one of your neighbors on fire who accidentally strayed across your property, that would maybe be a bad thing.
I'm sorry. My son now looks like Fire Marshal Bill.
Yeah, not good.
But it was just a little mistake. No, I don't want to put anything in the flamethrower. I wanted to buy it without the flamethrower, but you can't. It comes as a permanent attachment. But you can attach other things to it.
Wow. Really
It's
cool.
got on ARs, they have the gun rail. It has a rail on top of it.
So can you attach a gun to it then?
I don't think so. But I have a feeling somebody could find a way. Not me, of course.
No.
But somebody could find a way to attach a gun to it. I'd put a burner launcher on it in a second.
What happens if something goes wrong? Like, let's say someone crosses or isn't even across your property line. Your robot dog decides to just venture out on its own.
No, it geofences.
I know, but let's say there's an error with it, right? It does something it's not supposed to do and shoots somebody or lights them on fire out in the street. Who gets blamed for that? Who's the criminal? Is it you?
This goes back to autonomous cars.
Right? Yeah.
It goes back to autonomous cars. It would probably at this point be me, but you could make the case that it's not me. It's autonomous. It's the company. I bought it. It geofenced. Why did it cross the geofence?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like if it did something that it wasn't supposed to do as you purchased it, I can't imagine it would actually be your fault legally, but I don't know. Would they blame I guess they go after the company? I don't know. Yeah. That's a bizarre. We have a lot of these questions that are going to be coming up, and I do not have answers to them.
And it will happen.
I know.
I mean, it's inevitable. So something's going to go wrong with some of them.
Of course.
Well, something bad's going to happen.
This has been a long time, thing coming on what's free will and everything else. I've been reading about this since the 90s when it comes to technology. Your car eventually is going to be able to make money on its own. For instance, it's going to be, you could park it and then it will Uber all day by itself. So it'll make money, but it'll also have so much technology in it that it could invest that money in the stock market. So whose money is that?
Yeah.
Is that the car's money? And if it has the ability to affect the economy, shouldn't it have a right to vote? I mean, the things that are coming, nobody's prepared for this, and it's all going to be here by 2030.